These are the VRS Direct Force Pro pedals. So it's a high-end product, stainless steel construction with an industrial aesthetic. Very, very adjustable. All three pedals, the pedal faces in terms of height, depth, angle are fully adjustable, and overall pedal angle is also adjustable. Now, if we look at the throttle pedal first, we have quite a unique design here. So we have a rodless spring, which doesn't quite look right to the eye, but functionally performs extremely well. Absolutely no friction whatsoever, so really nice smooth response. And we have a lot of adjustability here in terms of initial starting force, preload, and also overall force and pedal travel. So if we move on to the brake, we have similar levels of adjustability, a very high-end, heavy-duty construction. We have the blue spring on here at the moment, which tolerates a 65 kilogram maximum force. Also supplied is the optional red spring, which doubles that to 130 kilograms. These are linear springs, which is not normally how a real-life brake pedal feels. So we have this very clever mechanism on the back here, which basically turns that into a progressive, more realistic feeling, which gives you quite a decent bit of travel for low-level trail braking, and then more of a ramp up when you're really braking much harder. And we have this tie rod at the top, which is fully adjustable, along with preload, so you can really fine-tune that exact force shape to your preference. On the clutch, we have a similar level of adjustability in terms of pedal face and also the shape of the curve. So we try to emulate a clutch plate, which is stiff initially and then flattens out as the clutch gives way. So that's emulated here with a small amount of adjustability, including overall travel as well. So we're very happy with this product, and we hope you are too.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
If you're looking to get serious in sim racing, one of the first things to do is upgrade your wheelbase and pedals. The powerful force feedback in our direct drive wheelbase makes a huge difference, and our highly adjustable precision pedals will give you the consistency you need to improve. So you'll not only get the best value for your money, but you'll also benefit from our quick, local shipping from Australia and save even more. Our transparent pricing has GST included, so there's no nasty surprises at checkout or further customs delays and charges. And if you're near Melbourne, you can simply pick up your hardware from our showroom and get a free product walkthrough from one of our VRS coaches. We offer excellent customer service after the sale, and our hardware is made of the highest quality components. To get yours today, just go to the URL on the screen or click on the button below. But hurry, stock is always limited due to high demand. So if you want to get faster, sooner, VRS is your answer.
Control, feel the thunder in my soul. Through the danger, through the pain, only one thing to do to get to victory lane. Taking risks, full set, to victory. Echoes of the past, the roaring ghost that never lasts. But here I stand, the finish line. One last race, one last time. Through it all, get past the pain, cutting laps, making gains, feeling tired, get to my aim. The desire to get to victory, speeding faster, no control. Feel the thunder in my soul. Through the danger, through the pain, only one thing to do to get to victory lane. Taking risks, full send, and in the end, be the best. It's taking over, cannot contain the desire to get to victory lane.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to Infinity Broadcasting, and welcome into the IRWC presents the VRS Porsche Cup Series. We come in tonight to the wonderful world of the USA once again for our second round of the championship this season, as we head over to finish up our weekend here at Homestead Miami Speedway. We were racing here on Friday night in our Rod Knot Cup Series, and now we finalise the weekend here tonight with the Porsche Cups. Hamish Munro here with you once again. Alongside me, as always, is Brenton O'Brien. Brenton, we're running the B road course here this evening, the course of which has the bowl section at the end of the circuit instead of the rest of the infield. A tough circuit for these cars tonight. Draft train's going to be strong. Qualifying, I think, teammates are going to be your best friend, but with it being a rush round, 3 races on offer, the third of which the 30-minute feature with the full reverse grid. Oh, anything can happen, and a bunch of spanners could get thrown into the works.
Yeah, you would think so. And good evening, good morning to all. Yeah, look, and the thing is about this track, it is going to munch tyres. It really is. So we've got the 3 short races, which is a benefit for all, no doubt. But for some people tonight, after the last round, the opening round, their season starts. Someone like Shannon Fever, walked out with 0 points. Greg Levine walked out with 0 points. So their championship starts tonight, so let's keep a close eye on them to see how they handle things.
Well, not just those guys. There's a couple of drivers making their debut into the series here this evening as well. Of course, Alex Mateos comes in. Jack Anderson starts for the first time this season. Ironically, he's only going to get 1 race in before he cuts over to the UK for a month. And then Matty Parker comes in as well for his first race of the season too. So there's 3 fresh faces on the grid for tonight's race. We've got 33 cars on track here this evening, so it's going to be a good test for those drivers out there. Let's have a quick look though at the track map here tonight and check out Homestead Miami Speedway. For me personally, Brenton, I mean, this is my personal favourite oval road course to drive, and I think it's actually incredibly underrated when you compare it to the likes of Daytona, Charlotte, Indianapolis, etc. And I think it's a really, really cool track. It's in a really cool setting. You're surrounded by palm trees as you race around here. And it's a track that's going to be a big test for these drivers. Of course, 3.7 Ks is the length. 2.3 miles in the old language. 10 turns. It's all starting on that main straight, and then we run through the kink at turn 1, right past that incredibly tough pit exit where cars can come out right onto the racing line. That could cause some hairy issues throughout race 3 here this evening. Then the run around turn 2, which is our first little braking zone of the circuit, up towards 3 and then through 4 and 5. This first little section, the car will get underweighted. Cold tyres and worn overheated tyres are not going to be your best friend through this first section, Brenton. We could see a couple of spinners early on in the race, or possibly even towards the latter part of the race as well, as the cars start to wear down.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've done a great job at Homestead. This place got absolutely slaughtered during hurricane years and years ago, and it was not flat, a lot of it. So for them to build it up so quickly, obviously there's a bit of money in the area, but they've done a fantastic job. And like you said, there's a lot of technical stuff here, and it's out of all the rovals that we have, I would think this is probably the tightest. So we're just looking forward to seeing how the Ben Petersons and the Sam Muirs and the Alan Dawson, our top 3 in the championship, how they handle tonight, whether they're just going into points mode or whether they're going to still crack on and go for the win.
Well, I think, if we look at this map, the 3 best passing opportunities across the whole lap is between turn 1 and turn 3. So through that braking zone, there's an opportunity there. Turn 6 as well, and then down at turn 8. And then unless you can get some toe and get the run down the main straight out of turn 9 and turn 10 on the oval section of the track, you've really got to try and set it up under the braking zones. Keeping the cars clean is going to be tough. There is slight little elevation changes in that first sector of the track before it all flattens out in the midpoint as well. Pit entry could be difficult tonight too. It's a very fast-paced pit entry, so drivers are going to have to try and pull it up as quickly as possible. We're only going to see pit stops happening in race 3 this evening. The first 2 races will not get them, as it is not a far enough distance for them to get by running out of fuel. Safety cars, probably a high likelihood tonight, I'd say, Brenton. I think early in the race it's going to be probably the highest percentage across all 3 races, but we could see someone have an absolute mare and blow their engine into turn 2, and all of a sudden they need a tow and we get the safety car on track.
Well, there's going to be such an imbalance with the tyres here. The rights will certainly suffer and get up to temperature fairly quick, whereas the lefts will be a bit of a delay. But yeah, look, so whether the guys go aggressive, I think turn 8 certainly is your best passing opportunity. Like I always find that the best corners to pass on a mid-speed corner like turn 7 and a very slow corner turn 8. So there'll be opportunities, and you can see it there. So you come out slow, then accelerate, and you go hard into turn 8, hard braking area. And that's, I think, going to be the best place to passing. And I think there will be plenty of passing tonight. So looking forward to it. And so far, with just, we've got 12 minutes to go, we've got Ben Pedersen has just taken an early lead here in the test session. So, qualifying. We're on qualifying already. So Ben Pedersen, last week's winner. And Ellie Gardner has got himself to P2. So a 15.693 for Ben, which is a competitive time, but there will be times to improve. And for all those out there viewing the world, the track temperature is 30 degrees.
Yep, so we're currently sitting at 30 degrees. That will likely heat up. That'll hurt the tyres a fair bit as this race goes on, I would say, as the track gets warmer and warmer across this session as well. Got a couple of chats out there already. Rhiannon's out there here for the words Mr. Brenton O'Brien said he'll be having with Hamish tonight. I'm sure we'll have plenty of time between races to get our words out.
Oh yeah.
And then hit by a travel bug in the chat as well, giving the love to Alex out there too. So there's some support in the chat for a couple of drivers and even the broadcasters tonight too. So if you are watching, get into the chat, get the support out there, and let us know who you want us to keep an eye on throughout the race. We've got 3 races to come as Sam Muir goes to provisional pole, 1:15.45 on the board for the Racecraft Simulations entry of 9.5 Sim Sports, one of our heavy championship contenders and the defending champion as well. He's going to want and try and bring the fight to Pedersen. I think if Muir wants to keep the pressure on Pedersen, I'd have to argue he needs to beat Pedersen tonight, Bretton. He cannot allow him to get onto a roll and get 2 round wins in a row so early in the season. He wants to keep the pressure on him, and he needs to try and swing some momentum in his favour.
So from what we know about Sam, and that's for me, it's last season, I think this is the type of track that suits him. I think last week would have been a bit of a wake-up call for him. Not that I'm saying he was asleep behind the wheel. He still finished very well. Someone has to win. Someone has to come second. But I thought Ben was quite dominant last week. Yeah. Sam won't like that. Sam won't like that at all. And I do think this is a track that would suit him. So we're looking at Sam's practice time was a 15.8. So already he has improved by 0.4 of a second in the qualifying. Whereas we look at Ben Pedersen, his practice time was a 15.5. He has not improved. And I always find that in multiple series that those that improve in the shorter quality laps, they seem to jump up so much. We've got a problem with Ben Pedersen. Looks like he's been involved with an incident here.
He's having some issues. He's waiting for his teammates. We have had some livery changes for some of the Riot drivers as well, so we'll be able to differentiate between at least what classes some of those drivers are in and really cut down the pool that we need to focus on. The blue cars are the bronze drivers, Dean Reddit, John Akers, Barry Punter. The original orange cars are the gold class drivers, Ben Pedersen and Alan Dawson, and the yellow cars are the silver class drivers of Wiley Blair, Rodney Golan, Stefan Lawrence, and Paul Wilson. But I would say, based on performance last week and based on how he performs tonight, Stefan Lawrence may get that orange car back by round 4. I would argue. He is driving like a gold class driver at the moment. He is not driving like a silver class driver. If he gets a podium, I'd say tonight, he's pretty well locked away a promotion up to the next class on top of him.
Well, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. And my prediction last week, John Akers is actually P3 in qualifying at the moment, which is an outstanding effort. Very happy to see that. With a 19.4, with a 15.8. So he's actually not that far off the front row. Just less than 2/10. So that's a fantastic effort by John.
Now, team efforts in qualifying are going to be a big factor here, right? They've probably got the biggest advantage out of anyone because they can tow all of their cars around and give everyone the draft advantage. Then you're probably going to have to look to 9.5 to challenge for the top of the timesheet, as well as Gordon Marshall goes to P3 as he runs it through turn 1. Simon Mazzomo back in the field tonight. So great to have Mez back after missing round 1 last week. It's good to have the 954 out there working with his new teammate for the first time in this series, Sam Muir, the defending champion. And I suppose it is, if you can't beat him, well, invite him to your team. Maybe that's the mentality of 9.5 here.
So we just heard that Jordan Ferguson, the car 21, he'll be getting a pit lane penalty for the race due to an incident with Ben Pedersen. We were just talking about that before. And yeah, it's good, not just for Mez to be here, but it's really good that Sam's actually got a teammate there. That doesn't mean they're necessarily going to be working together all the time, but you can certainly see the 9.5 cars are lined up here, and it's got to be an advantage. It has to be an advantage being in the draft at a track like this.
Oh, it would indeed, no doubt about that. Harry Dodds has been able to put his hand up to be the guinea pig for us tonight, so we can show this off. So any drivers that are watching this back for next week, join the Video Ninja Room, get your cameras up and running. So Dodsy, with his washing in the background, is focused up and ready to challenge the race leaders here tonight. I feel like he was really, we put him to the sword last week and said, hey, you've really got to pick up your game if you want to stay in top class. Because realistically at Laguna Seca, he did not perform where at least I anticipated he would. So he's going to have to pick it up a little bit now this week at Homestead and next week at Chicago if he wishes to stay in the gold class for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, no, I love looking at the images of the drivers. Yeah, it brings the reality. You know what I mean? Like, we've got to make personalities, and I know we're trying to do it in Pro Series. We've got to make our drivers the personalities. We want people that when they watch these races, they'll follow the Jared Fulsells and the Madison Downs and the Sam Muirs and the Ben Pedersens. We want people to recognise that, you know, it's not some pimply kid playing a PlayStation. It's these guys have got some serious talent. They're using the whole sim rig and the pedals and all that stuff. The only thing I would say here for Harry's mate, put a different background on. That's disgusting.
Get a green screen, Dodsy. To be fair, previously when I've used his camera, he didn't have a light turned on, so he was just in the dark, lit up by his screen. So if it was a night race, it'd be all over. But yeah, I'd say
maybe you should turn the light back off. Looking at that.
Maybe get a bit of corkboard, Dodsy. Put the sponsors on there for Project 36. But no, so we'll check in with Dodsy throughout the night, see how he goes, and check in with him too. And as I said, we want to see you on circuit. We want not only on circuit but in the rigs as well. So get those cameras joined up for next week. I will repost the link for next week as well, as Dodsy has a massive run off the circuit down at turn 2, so he'll have to get that thing pulled back up again. But yeah, we want to try and implement that as much as we can. It's a really cool feature that we can use, and we want to try and get it involved for everyone out there. Ellie Gardner's just pulled up in the midfield. I think she's waiting for an opportunity to get going once again. Currently P2 in class, P9 on the road. Damien Cairns. I've got a feeling about this season for Damien, Brenton. I mean, we put the challenge to him last season. He needs to try and find some more consistency. Last week he had a fantastic... Less errors, exactly. Last week he had a fantastic run out at Laguna Seca. Currently P10 in qualifying at the moment. 3 races tonight. Let's see how Damien does across the evening. But I've got a feeling that if he can do well tonight, he may be setting himself up for a very consistent run this season.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. And then we go down further than that. So whilst we're talking up people like Damien Cairns, and we go down the list, and your man, Stefan Lawrence, I think it's a bit disappointing, 12th place at the moment, and more in particular, 13th place. The person to P3 in the championship, Alan Dawson, it's not where he wants to be, as Stefan just goes up a couple of spots to a P10. We're down to the last 3 minutes and 50 seconds, so if you're going to be doing some work to get yourself up the grid, this is the time. You're not going to have much more opportunities. You're going to have one out lap and one flying lap. That's the only opportunity you're going to get. So you might as well, make the most of what you've got, because whilst we say yes, there's opportunities to pass, because there absolutely is, it's still only a short race. It's only, 15-minute race. So there's a lot to play for.
So as we currently stand, Sam Muir sits provisional pole and pole for the gold class as well. John Akers pole for the bronzes. Angus Lawford pole for the silver class at the moment as well. So that's how they're all situated. And in fact, John Akers is out-qualified every silver class driver at this stage of the race. So he's looking good for a nice, solid improvement across this season.
Don't you go bumping him up to silver, because he's my pick for bronze, and he's done a great job tonight.
We'll see how he does across these first 3 races. The first 3 tracks of the season were selected for a reason. They're going to separate our pretenders from our contenders out there. So, we picked difficult tracks where, yes, you're going to have a poor run on the night, but realistically, you can also have a very good run if you're very lucky as well. Hit by a trouble bug saying, I need to know what the 78 looks like, please. Can you show it for a second? Yes, we can indeed.
It's
If
like a
they are on
Porsche.
track. Yeah, it's Alex Mateos, who's just come through pit lane. He's running a purple 0 car. There's a Red Bull logo on the back of that thing, though. So hopefully Alex doesn't live up to the expectations of drivers who run Red Bull liveries, and that is cause crashes tonight. So hopefully he is not going to cause that. To give the insider as well, Alex is actually my cousin, so it's his first league race. Best of luck to Alex out there in the gold class, in the bronze class. Sorry, he's still learning, so we'll see how he does in his first outing. Exactly right, and that's what we're all about.
Got to start somewhere. It's good to have numbers on the grid, and you just never know, do you? Like, if you're not racing, you're not going to win, but if you just never know.
No, that's right.
And his objective probably won't be to win the race. Let's be realistic. But he'll set himself an objective to be top 20, top 30, whatever, and let's just see if he can stick to it.
That's exactly right. So it's a long season ahead. He did miss round 1, but he's got 2 drop rounds in hand. He can still make the next, tonight and then the next 9 races, and he can still get a solid finish for himself. So there's plenty of time on the board for that to happen as well. Sam Muir, though, with a minute and 20 seconds left on the clock, is currently still in pole position. Ben Pedersen right now is just trying to challenge him here. So remember, the leader's lap time is a 1:16.152. That was the last lap that was set by Sam Muir. But the best lap is a 1:15.45, currently the pole sitting time.
So I'm going to jump in there. I want to stick with the Mazomo car, if that's okay, please, 954. Because we're down to the last 40 seconds, and it's very, very obvious to all that Sam Muir is giving Mez a tow here. So I'm thinking to myself that there's not a big need. So Mez doesn't need a big improvement to lock out the front row.
He's coming in the pit lane, so he's pulled out of qualifying, has Simon Mazomo. But P5 is still a solid position on the board. So let's watch Ben Pedersen as he comes up towards the start-finish line, because this is his last chance. Gardner up to P3. That's a great lap from her. Pedersen on his final run to the start-finish line with only seconds to spare. They will get cut off at the 15 minutes across the line as the final gaggle of cars gets there. Pedersen has not done it.
Well, no, he hasn't got pole, but he's still on the front row.
He's still on the front row.
There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think he'd have too much of a world of disappointment there being front row at a track like this, where I do think there's going to be some incidents. I do. And getting these cars off the start line on a grid like this, where it's just, the bit of, hey, buddy. There's going to be some dramas here. There will be some dramas here. So being at the front of the grid is nothing wrong with that at all.
No, there's not. It's probably the safest place to be, especially early on in these races. So race 1 this evening, Sam Muir will start pole position ahead of Ben Pedersen in P2, Ellie Gardner and Daniel Benefield on the second row with Simon Mazomo and Gordon Marshall for the top 6. John Akers starts ahead of Angus Lawford with Brady Stanley and Stefan Lawrence in the top 10. Muir on pole for the golds, Gardner on pole for the silvers, Akers on pole for the bronzes. Cairns and Howard will then make up the 6th row of the grid ahead of Dawson and Dodds with Fever in the top 15. Dean Reddit ahead of Wiley Blair, Paul Wilson, Jake Burton, Alex Schuller for the top 20. Kurt Chapman, Rodney Golan will start ahead of Matt Howard and Craig Schultz for our top 24, with Stacey Boyd, Matty Parker ahead of Barry Punter and Tim Nicol, as Jack Anderson and Greg Levine make up the top 30. Jordan Ferguson, Alex Mateus and Gary Watson make up our 33 car grid here this evening for race 1 of 3. The second race tonight will be a top 15 invert for the grid. So whoever they finish in race 1, top 15 will get inverted. 15th place will start pole. First place will start 15th. Then the results of race 2 will then determine how we start in race 3, because race 3 is a full invert of the grid. So whoever finishes last in race 2 will start pole in race 3 here this evening, which if you're a driver who is a bit new, or you're a driver who's trying to get used to this car, that's massive pressure to start right at the front of the field for a 30-minute feature race.
Yeah, it is, but we saw last season someone like Shannon Fever handled themselves very well when they had that exact thing. But we also remember last season, like I think it was Belle Isle, second last race of last season, where Sam Muir deliberately went him back to 10th position, holding solid because he knew he would get pole position for the final. So let's see if he plays that strategy hand tonight. I don't think it was the way to do things last season, but he won the championship, so good luck to him.
I don't know if that's going to pay dividends in the rush rounds.
No.
Since you have to give up a lot more points to get pole to do that. The other big change as well, obviously this is our first rush round of the season, the other big change is that there's now points on the board for every single position in the field through the 15-minute heats. It's not just the top half of the field. Every driver will get points in this race. It is scaled down from first down to technically 50th position if we were to get 50 sign-ups for the season as well. There's a lot of support for the rookie Alex Mateos here tonight. So if there's anyone with a fan club out there, it's definitely Alex. So we'll see if he can live up to their expectations as we wait for the lights to come up and for the race to begin here this evening. Sam Muir on pole. Blair, Wilson, Ferguson look to be starting from pit lane. Homestead Miami is lit up once again with IRWC action as the scramble towards turn 1 begins. And we'll see if they can survive the run through these corners and keep themselves nice and tidy as Pedersen puts the pressure on Sam Muir at the front of the field for P1 position already. Gardner there with them. Mazzomo, Benefield, Marshall, Akers, Lawford, Lawrence and Howard. That is the top 10. As Blair, Wilson and I think Ferguson exit pit lane for the start of this race. So a tidy start. First sector, there's been no incidents, Breton. But anything can happen across the next 15 minutes.
Absolutely. So, yeah, clean start. The cork in the bottle is going to be Ellie Gardner here. I do believe that Mez is going to have pace on Ellie. So, Mez is going to, despite the fantastic qualifying performance that Ellie did, a fantastic qualifying performance, but there's going to be some movement behind with Benefield and Mazzomo, a lot more experience in these cars and in sim in general, and the pressure will be on. But at the front, Sam Muir and Ben Pedersen, a nice start. Ben put a bit of pressure on in turns 1 and 2, tried to hold around the outside, was never going to happen. Looks like we've got a problem with Stefan Lawrence as well.
Ran wide down at turn 8, and now he's come back out onto the oval part. He's back down to P18 after starting P10 in this race, so that's not the start that he would have hoped for. Sam Muir leads the way at the moment, but Pedersen putting pressure on him in towards turn 1, running it round the outside towards 2. Can Muir defend the line under brakes? Gardner's getting up there too. She wants a piece of the pie. Outside still is Pedersen. Muir on the inside at turn 3. Oh, he's done well to hold on, and Gardner wants to take a sneaky piece for herself, but she can't quite hang around the outside at 4. They settle back into it once again. What a great bit of racing early on.
So Pedersen's showing his hand nice and early here, and it doesn't look like it's overly hard work for Sam to defend. Like, he's going to have Pedersen hanging around the outside into 1 and possibly 2, but once they get to turn 3, I think it is, it's such a tight exit. It's such a tight exit. Ben's going to have to be really special to be able to hang on around the outside there. Did a pretty good job there, but in the meantime, what that's done is compress the field. So, you know, we've got the top 10 cars all back-to-back because the front 2 are battling. Ben's showing some genuine pace here. Sam's showing some genuine racecraft. So it's interesting to see how this goes.
Sorry to interrupt. Rodney Gollins had an incident down at turn 8. There's been a couple of cars down there, including Craig Schultz, who's dropping position. Barry Punter as well, with the big damage on the front of that car. So we'll try.
I think we need to focus on 1 and 2.
It's still happening. Yep. It is still happening up there.
It's exactly the same play. It's the exact same play. So we'll look here. Next corner very tight in here, and then Sam gets just that better drive. Is he able to hang on? No, he's not.
Oh, here comes
this time.
Ben. Can he go on the
he's-
inside at
yeah,
5?
good driving.
That's fantastic racing between them. They're still interlocked in this battle.
And now defense for Ben.
Yep.
Ben's going to have to go defensive here. Don't come too far across. It's going to be hard for Sam here, especially. So we've got Benefield now. Dan Benefield's now going to be sticking his nose out. Gee, Sam's doing a really good job hanging in there. George,
Oh,
too soon.
that was a big catch by Sam Muir. Here comes his
Benefield.
teammate
Look
Daniel
at this.
Benefield up the
Benefield.
inside at turn 8.
Gonna get
Under
both of them.
brakes. 2 for 1 special for Benefield. Of course, he finished the race on the podium last week, was dropped due to a time penalty, but now he's back up to P1 on the road is Daniel Benefield. What a start to this race he is having. I noticed as well, Mazzomo has dropped spots. He's down to P19.
Yeah.
So I think he's been involved in something as well.
So this is where the team thing could work here. Benefield can hang Pedersen out to dry here if they're going to work together as a team. Yeah, I tell you what, that was very, very...
That was very cool. Oh, contact with Gardner.
No, so Benefield, I don't know what Dan's done there, but he lost so much pace then. So much, and well, there's obviously it's going straight up to the stewards. There's obviously an incident there. Let's call it as we see it, but what have we got
So this
here?
was the incident down on lap 2 with Schultz, Punter, Golan, and so yeah, it's just up the inside when Golan and then Punter into the back of his own teammate. That's a problem there. And then this was Mazzomo's incident on how he ended up further down the field.
By himself?
Yeah, into turn 2. So he'd already dropped positions by that point.
Yep.
So I have to wonder if he maybe got eaten alive down the straight, or he may have had a slowdown.
Yeah, I heard Shannon calling out for an incident as well. Was this it here?
That'll be it there.
Yes, it is. So, yeah, and I would think there's he's just going to be sitting back waiting for the redress. And then this is the one here. Now, this was an unusual one because Benefield certainly had track position, and was actually past Pedersen, and then just seemed to lift completely unnecessarily. Like, what's happened there would be deemed as an unexpected action by Dan Benefield. The speed difference was so great, and I don't really think that Ellie had much room to go.
No,
Interesting to see what the stewards say there.
Well, realistically, she had nowhere to go. It's either go off track or you're making contact with a car that is aiming for the outside of the circuit. So, for me, Benefield just hasn't left racing room there, self-penalising. You know, it's a racing incident, I think.
I totally get that, but the question is, why was Benefield so much more significantly slower than the rest of the field at that point, especially when he just got himself into the race league? Now, was he trying to be a bit cheeky and try and do a team thing and get Sam back past Ben? But all that's done is create dramas. And we've now got Gordon Marshall up 3 positions up to P3, John Akers up to P4. So it's this is one of those opportunities where guys like Gordon and Akers, they can really cash in. Brady Stanley up to P7. This is a chance for these guys to cash in here.
Well, there's some big gainers already amongst this race. Matt Howard's up 12 positions into P11 at the moment to put himself into a reverse grid position for race 2. Tim Nichols up 13, currently sitting on provisional pole for race 2 as well. Jack Anderson is up 11 at this stage after starting P29 as Benefield has made contact with Stacey Boyd on the oval.
What is going on?
Both cars have made contact through there.
Yeah.
That is really
I
messy.
wonder if Benefield's got some... I wonder if he's got some hardware issues. Like, it was a very unnecessary, unnatural last lap for him. And I'd like to see the full go here. Looks like there could be... Just
technically, is he on the other side of... I don't know.
No, you've only got to have the two tyres on one side of the white line. You can
Damien Cairns had nowhere to go. He had nowhere to go in that situation. That is one of the worst scenarios you can have. And the other drivers I wanted to shout out as well. So, now Nichols dropped 2 spots. He's now down to P18, but he's still up 10. And then Mateus on debut, up 12 at the moment into P20. So he's having a very clean run thus far. Let's see if he can maximise and continue that run going forward as well. As he's just under pressure here from Rodney Golan, seasoned Porsche Cup driver up the inside of turn 8. You know what? Alex played a smart game there. Let him go. See if he can get him back at another stage. No point trying to battle it too hard right now.
Well, debut race, up 11 spots. Happy days. We're over halfway through this race already, just 7 minutes to go. Look, even if he drops another couple of spots, that's okay. He's getting laps under his belt. He's getting more experience. And he will only progress from here. Up the front, though, this has not stopped this race because we thought, yeah, Ben was showing some good pace, there's no doubt. Sam Muir has not gone anywhere. I think Sam needs to, at some stage, if there's a door opening, needs to make a move here. Yes, there's always a risk of a penalty, but Sam doesn't need to have Ben just stamping authority straight from the get-go last week and then straight from the get-go this week. So Sam needs to make the most of this and have a look. There's a strong draft around here. Around the oval, around the banking, into turn 1, there's a strong draft. So there will be opportunities.
We will indeed. Give the quick rundown of the race thus far. One lead change. That's obviously gone the way of Ben Pedersen. We're on lap 7. It's claiming 30 laps tonight, not doing 30. I don't know why it thinks we're going to be doing 30 laps across 15 minutes, but maybe it thinks we're going to do 30 across the whole night. I don't know. It's a weird prediction to make. Ben Pedersen, though, is under fire and under pressure here from Sam Muir. Sam may just be playing the patient game right now, Brett, knowing that obviously he's going to be giving up the toe to Ben as soon as he gets past him as well. Ben just ran it wide down at turn 1.
Ben made a mistake there.
Yep. Big mistake. Let's open the door.
Open the door.
And Sam just tucks back in for now.
It's going to be a really good drive out here. Yep.
So Sam,
turn 5. Yeah, as they exit turn 5, it was such a good drive out by Muir. Whether he's going to be able to hang around the outside, he wouldn't think so. But what this is going to do, as they go through turn 7, hopefully now, this will be the spot where Muir can get good track position. Let's see if Pedersen defends straight away. He does. But there's a little opening there whether Pedersen's going to be able to hang on to this. He's good under brakes, isn't he? He's good under brakes.
Used his allotted 2 moves to his advantage at that point there as well. And the point I was making before that all that started happening, Sam may be playing a little bit more of a patient game right now, knowing that if he gives up the toe and lets Ben back past him, or Ben back behind him, I should say, it's going to give Ben a much bigger opportunity to actually counter-attack and get back by him again. So he may just be waiting for only a few laps to go before he really commits to the move and really commits to the race lead. But he's trying to do it on the outside at turn 1. They've got Gordon Marshall in behind them, starting to apply some pressure as well. Battle for the race lead is on with less than 5 minutes to go in race 1 this evening. John Akers has tucked his way up there into the top 4 as well. Alan Dawson a bit further back at this stage, but Sam unable to really take advantage just yet. Gardner is now back into the race lead of the silver class ahead of Stefan Lawrence. Damien Cairns on the podium for that field at this stage. Jake Burton is currently provisional pole in P15 on the road at this stage of the race. So that's the current updates for you.
So my question is, will John Akers, a bronze driver, get on the podium in this race? I think it's every possibility. I think there's a lot of this race to go. I know we're down the last 3.5 minutes. There will be something happening. I can just feel, I can just see something building here. I don't know whether Gordon Marshall's going to be amongst it, but I think Sam needs to do something. He does need to do something, and I think he actually wants to do something. So we've got probably just the 3 laps to go now. And the lap times are in the 1:17s, 1:17.2 for Pedersen, 1:17.1 for Muir, a 1:16 from there on though. So we can see the 2 leaders are the slowest in the top 10. Actually, no, they're the slowest in the top 12.
Well, I was going to say that probably comes down to the fact that only one of them is giving a slipstream to the other. They are battling away as well. So that's all going to have a part to play.
In, Sam.
He wants to get this job done if he can. Here comes Muir. He's going to be stuck on the outside at turn 4 though.
Good drive around the outside.
That's what he needs. He needs to get the power down out of 5. It's going to give Pedersen the inside line down towards turn 6 under brakes. How much can you
make the most of this.
He can indeed, especially if they make contact or they both run it wide. They're still side by side now, but Pedersen survives for now. Sam just can't quite find a route around him at this stage.
He's not far away though. He's not far away. We know that Ben was very strong under brakes here last time around, and yet again, he's very, very strong. A lot of lost the traction though. He's lost the rears a little bit. That's going to make it very, very interesting here as they start getting onto the oval again.
Pressure's rising. Intensity's rising as well as Sam Muir's going for the high line. He's trying to set up a run. He wants to set up a run for turn 1.
Yeah, but the initial loss, let's just see. He's very harsh on the wheel. It's almost like a rudder. He's just putting the brakes on. When he steers that hard, he's going to slow the car down in a straight line. He needs to get that out of him.
As they run up towards turn 2 once again, he can't quite get there. And there's probably only one lap left after this one. It's a great chance for Gordon.
Gordon has a chance here to stick his nose in where these two don't want it to be. And that's the same with John Akers. He's got a chance to stick his nose in exactly where these two don't want to be. So get amongst it, boys, because this is your chance.
It's a massive chance right now for them as they battle away down towards turn 8, where we know Pedersen's been strong under brakes. Muir just hasn't been able to apply the pressure just enough. There's one lap to go around Homestead Miami tonight. So when they cross the line, they'll get the white flag from Barney, and there'll be one attempt left for Sam Muir to get this move done for the race lead. Pedersen's trying to break the toe as much as he can, but he can't be weaving too much. Even though we're coming around into an oval portion of the track, he's still only allowed 2 moves before a heavy braking zone. So he needs to be careful of that. Doesn't want to get called out for blocking. Marshall's on the outside. Watch him through turn 1. Pedersen's trying to cover to Muir here. How many more opportunities can Muir get to get this job done? He's only got 1 lap to do it.
Well, you can throw a blanket over the top 6. There's 1.8 seconds between the top 6 here, and that's Brady Stanley up into P6. So a fantastic effort. Alan Dawson, we haven't spoken about him at all. He's certainly made some progress up to P5, so that keeps his championship alive. But we're into the last lap.
So down towards turn 6. Muir not quite close enough. May have just settled into P2 at this stage of the race. I mean, to be fair, he's only given up a couple of points by not finishing in first, but it will give him a slightly better qualifying position than Ben Pedersen for race 2 here this evening. And that may be one of the thought processes. So for Ben, he looks to claim another race win, and I think he's got it at this stage because Sam is too far away. So Pedersen, who took home the race win and the full 300 points back at Laguna Seca last week, will traverse around the next 2 corners and will add another 75 points to his tally as Pedersen takes the win. Muir in P2. Marshall nearly got there, but P3 in the end for him. Akers in P4. Dawson makes up the top 5. Stanley, Logan Howard, Stefan Lawrence wins it for the Silvers in race 1. Matt Howard, Damien Cairns makes up the top 10. P2 for the silver class here. John Akers won it for the bronzes as well. So give a little nod to that. Ellie Gardner in P3 for the silver class. Dodsey ahead of Chapman, Jake Burton, and Wiley Blair will start pole position in race 2 when we get the inverted top 15. Benefield was 1 away from it, Brenton. P16 in the end. But he'll be right behind the fast boys though for the start of race 2.
I'm thinking, did Benefield get a penalty? Certainly Mez got a drive-through penalty, and rightfully so, and did serve that. So Mez down in P31. Well, there's a lot of work here. And Jake Burton, I have a feeling that last season, didn't Jake Burton start on the front row on a reverse grid race? So it's certainly not the first time he's been doing that.
I believe that was Long Beach, if I remember correctly.
I think it was Long Beach. Yeah. And did a pretty good job. So looking forward to that. I was actually disappointed with Sam's race there. I think he'd probably say the same thing. He certainly had the opportunities. He was leading the race. I don't think... If he had his time again, I think he would do things differently. And Ben was extremely strong under brakes into turn 8, which certainly made things a lot easier for defence. So that's something that could be worked on.
Definitely can be worked on. Starting grid for race 2 will be as follows. Damien Cairns will start pole alongside Matt Howard. It's actually a top 10 invert, not a top 15. I'm getting all my stats wrong. So top 10 invert tonight. So Cairns starts pole ahead of Matt Howard, Stefan Lawrence, Logan Howard, Brady Stanley, Alan Dawson, John Akers, Gordon Marshall, Sam Muir, and Ben Pedersen makes up the inverted top 10. Everyone else will start how they finished in race number 1, including Ellie Gardner and Harry Dodds on the 6th row of the grid. Kurt Chapman, Jake Burton ahead of Wiley Blair, Daniel Benefield, Rodney Gollan, Paul Wilson, Tim Nicol, Jack Anderson, the top 20, Dean Reddit, Matty Parker, Alex Schuler, Angus Lawford, the top 24, ahead of Craig Schultz, Gary Watson, Shannon Fever, Jordan Ferguson, Alex Mateus, and Barry Punter for the top 30, with Simon Mazzomo, Greg Levine, and Stacey Boyd at the back of the field in P33. And I bet that those boys at the back of the field would have been hoping that we would have kept the rule of the full reverse grid for the 15-minute race, because they would have been right at the top end of town.
Yeah, they would have been, but you know, it's you can't reward those that much in a short race like this, and it would just create so many dramas with the fast guys trying to come through. I think top 15 is about where it needs to be.
I agree. As for whatever reason, my session state's not loading on the screen, so I might just quickly reload my SDK as we will look to get started here in a moment. Everyone's started a grid up.
So 10 seconds till start. You hear the revs building shortly.
So revs will begin to rise and cars will get themselves prepared for what is to come off of the start of race 2. Revs rise, lights up for the drivers, and we're underway for race 2 this season.
So I don't have it as, like, for my JRT, I don't have it as top 15. I've got Pedersen's already up.
It was top 10. It was top 10.
Oh, is it incident here?
Oh, there is indeed. It's Damien Cairns.
So both Muir, Pedersen, and Gordon Marshall all caught up in an incident there. Ben's got there's a big hit from behind. Gordon Marshall's in all sorts of trouble here. I think his race is done.
I think so too. Unfortunately, Mason K's having issues at the moment, so we'll try and fix that up for us. We'll try and stick with the front runners.
And Muir's he's gone as well. Muir's in all sorts. He's dropped to the tail of the field. So, yeah, so there's a lot of dramas here with the car 8 with Wilson. A lot of problems with Thomas. And, yeah, our championship defending champion, Muir, has dropped all the way down to P26, 27th. So, a lot of dramas here. The cars are calling for a tow. So, not sure what the story is. Safety car. You can have a look at Gordon Marshall's car. It's crabbing badly. So, his race is done for sure. So, a lot of action there, a lot of dramas. Didn't need any of it. But up the front, car 4, Matt Howard, who started in pole position, has maintained the lead, which is a fantastic job. And it's the type of thing that Matty, gold class driver, who's, I think, just now that I've said that, I think he's just dropped down to P3. So we've got another new leader now. So Logan Howard. I'm not sure, are they relation? I'm sure you can tell me.
I've not
Logan
heard,
Howard is now in the league.
About them being related. I must say, I'm unsure. I'm just going to quickly check that my SDK doesn't need this page because it's claiming that I'm not a customer, even though I am.
Brady Stanley is got himself up with the P2. So again, a good effort. But Brady did very well in the first race, if you remember, P6 in the first race. So good to see Brady in amongst it. And this is again the Stefan Lawrence back up into P3. So of all the dramas that Stefan had in the first race, he's already cashing in here. He's got himself up to P3. And you would expect over the next 12 and a half minutes that Stefan will actually make gains on these first two.
Well, as they battle away, they're continuing to keep their pressure at this stage of the race. My account is fine for SDK.
So
it's just giving me issues. Let's see if I can fix it up.
So there's a big gap between 5th and 6th. So the top 5, if they are smart, this is where you need your racecraft right now. You're in, let's be at the Tour de France for a while. There's a couple of riot cars amongst this, but the rest of them are from all licorice, all sorts teams. You don't want to be racing yet, guys. You want to make sure that over the next, we've got 11, 12 minutes to go. How about for the next 4 or 5 minutes, we just keep racing, as in single file, go fast, draw away from the tops from 6th place onwards, and then you can start getting into it. At least that way you're guaranteed of the top 5. If you start battling now, the whole field, which is one Mr. Ben Pedersen, is going to gain. At the moment, Pedersen is 3 seconds behind P5. These guys can't keep battling. That gap will close significantly very quickly. Which I think Ben's already there.
I think he is.
So it's actually Jake Burton now. P7 is 3 seconds off. So, geez, Pedersen has drawn that gap so quickly.
Yeah, apparently I had to renew early. I don't know why, Brenton, but I've just fixed my issue, it seems. So we'll get our timing tower up in a moment here. We'll be able to give everyone the update.
Deep.
It always has to happen.
Deep by Stefan.
Oh, it's very deep by Stefan. He's just trying to get an inch on them and begin to apply some pressure.
Logan Howard must be looking in the mirror here thinking, how good is this? Like, you guys keep battling there, because at the moment Logan's got no pressure on him. He's got the clearest of clear tracks in front of him, and he's got Brady Stanley, who, like I said, did a fantastic job in race 1, showing some obvious pace here. But Stefan Lawrence needs to get his championship up and going at some stage. We've got a drama here with John Akers.
That's John Akers, who's dropped positions now. And he's just rejoined the circuit right next to Simon Mazzomo. Not the best rejoin in the world, I must say, but we've got everything set back up once again, which is good to see. Pedersen starting to put some pressure on his teammate in Alan Dawson. Stefan Lawrence is up ahead of them as well. And I tell you what, when you look at the quality of driver of right that they have in this top 5 at the moment, you almost have a feeling that Pedersen could almost have this title given to him on a platter by how many are around him. But I don't think he's going to have it so easy across the season, though.
So the big difference you'll see when you've got a big team, I think Wright's got like 9 cars. It's a big team. So if Pedersen makes a mistake in lap 1 and we're getting late in the championship and he drops back to, let's just pretend, P20. If he's got 8 Wright cars in front, out of those 20 positions or out of the 19 positions in front of him, you can be sure he's going to be given 8 spots. They're not going to get in his way. Whereas Muir will not have that benefit. So Sam now up into P15, he's got Matty Parker in front. Sam doesn't have any friends on the track, not collectively, but Sam has to earn his way through. Pretend this is 2 Wright cars here and Ben's the second one. There's no resistance. It's just go through. So that's going to be, it's going to play out as the championship goes on. There's going to be times where Ben's going to need to call upon his teammates. At the moment, we think, and we said this right from the start of the series, that we think Pedersen's the favourite for the championship. This is another reason why Pedersen's the favourite for the championship, because he's going to have friends that help him.
He will indeed, as Alan Dawson has gone off the road down at turn 8. So he's just dropped outside of the top 10. It's a bad mistake from Dawson. But Muir is trying to get a run here on Matt Parker.
Yeah, 2 for 1 there. Yeah, so he's going to get Parker, and he's already got Dawson. So those are the things. So up to P13, every point counts. Now he's got to close. He's got 8.5 minutes to close to that gaggle of cars in front. He's going to have the runway's going to be hopefully free for a while for him, where he can show his genuine pace. His last lap was a 16.9. Certainly not outstanding, but we know why, because he was stuck behind Matty Parker. Up the front, though, we do have a new race leader. Your man, Stefan Lawrence, has found himself into the race lead.
Yeah, race lead for Lawrence, and he's just parked himself ahead of Logan Howard. New fastest lap of the race for Ben Pedersen, 1:15.98. An incredible lap time from him. And, we mentioned last season the impressive performance of Matt Bowler in the rush rounds. Of course, he took our best performance ever in a rush round out at Bathurst, where I believe he took 2 race wins and a podium to boot. The only way that Ben could go better is if he were to win all 3 races tonight. I don't think Stefan gives up the race win this early in the season, mind you, because the championship is nowhere near decided just yet. He'd only give it up if it was within the final 3 rounds, I would say. But for Lawrence, he's got his own championship to worry about. He's got his own title to worry about as well. Even if he gets promoted to gold class, all of a sudden he's challenging Ben for that title. So he won't want to give it up so easily. As Stanley down the inside of Howard got that job done. Here comes Pedersen as well. Looks to sneak it up onto the podium behind the SP Tools entry. Howard caught on the outside. The Kiwi can't quite get the car pulled up and now has to drop back into P4. Matt Howard doing a great job still. He started this race on the front row. He's still inside of the top 5 right now. Jake Burton, who started up the order, still inside the top 10. Rodney Gollan's done well. So is Kurt Chapman. So is Tim Nicol. And Dean Reddit in the top 10 once again, with Angus Lawford breathing down his neck.
I think Logan let that one go a bit easy. He might be thinking long term though, but because it looks like Dean Reddit.
Oh, it is.
Also got some.
Yeah. Oh,
issues.
and then contact with Dawson and Schultz. So we mentioned, was it Schultz? Oh, no, I think it might have been Benefield, actually, that was contact with.
Again, not pretty.
So I think Benefield's
he's
going to redress.
absolute
He's
mad.
going to redress the position, it seems. Oh, what
but that's
is
not how you
that?
do it. Ah. That's a whole world of mess, and I hope the stewards chew people out for that one, because that just should not be happening.
That was
Like to see the replay.
ridiculous.
Yeah, before we point fingers, let's have a look at it though. That's got to be a reason for that.
Oh,
because
sure.
that
I mean,
was
well,
just-
so Greg got loose and then came back on track. Benefield's trying to redress. So what happened here? So Benefield.
Oh, did he
Yeah.
get tagged, or did he just come over?
I think he just came over. I mean, Benefield, I think, was trying to just
I
open up
think
the
we go
corner
to
a
rear
little
chase.
bit.
We go to rear chase. I'm sure we'll see probably a more clarifying view there. Like I said, I don't want to point fingers, otherwise, you know, I think Greg Levine's going to have some issues. Just wouldn't mind have a look here.
So let's watch. So we're following Greg Levine. So Benefield's aiming, expecting Levine to move over onto the very far, and then he just kind of turns to go for the gap.
Is he
He's
going for
still-
the gap and to
he's
try and
try-
make a pass?
He
Yeah.
is. I think he is. He's aiming for the gap to go under brakes and
Yeah.
try and pass the right car. And he's just
Probably just
absolutely mucked up the spatial awareness. I mean, that's the only way I think we can look at it.
Oh, yeah, but at the same time, I'd be really interested to see what Benefield's speed is. Well, number one, why is Benefield doing that? Has he been called to do a redress? If
Oh,
he hasn't
would have
been called
he
to
would
do a
have been
redress,
redressing because it can less
Yeah.
than a penalty.
well, but look what's happened as a result.
That's
So
right.
if we can try and find the speed of Benefield, like we're probably thinking to ourselves that Greg's got a time on distance that he thinks he can get through, but all it takes is if Benefield starts accelerating again, well, that time on distance is going to close, and that gap's not going to be there. So I'm interested to see what the stewards say there, because if Benefield's accelerated after he's done a non-called redress, then, I think Benefield might have some issues as well.
They do. We'll see what the race control room say about it. There's been a couple of incidents tonight already, so they're running them to their absolute limits. As there's been a big incident in the background, Damien Cairns, and I think Jack Anderson may have been involved. He looks to have towed back to pits.
Yeah.
A couple of drivers in this one, and that there is big positions lost. It was Barry Punter and Simon Mazzomo have been involved in this. So let's watch this down in towards turn 3. So Barry runs wide, Cairns up the inside of Mez, and then Cairns just comes in and completely misjudges the braking zone going past Barry.
So one mistake by Punter is compounded by another mistake by Cairns. It's not pretty, is it? It's not pretty. Again, stewards are going to be busy there. I think Damien might have an issue there. I know. I know that the Cairns car. Let's let the stewards sort that out. But there's a lot going on there, and right now we've got Ben Pedersen, who's worked his way up to P2, chasing his teammate there. Now, a great thing for team morale would be to let Stefan win the race, because one day Ben's going to call upon Stefan and say, can I get through? So let's see how this team operates right now.
Yeah, we'll see how they work it out between themselves. To give the update on gridding for race 3, at the moment, Ellie Gardner is provisional pole with Gordon Marshall provisional P2. So that could be an enticing race to the very end for those drivers.
Well, a couple of the quick guys that be up the front there, and you would think with Jack Anderson and Harry Dodds. We haven't talked about Harry much tonight, apart from his dirty washing.
No, his dirty
just
laundry has been the hotly portioned out conversation.
By looking at it, it's probably the best thing that's happened to him tonight. And again, Shannon Fever had a disappointing week last week, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better this week. And for all our Alex fans out there, up into P28.
Yep, that would put him, I think, in the top 6 for the starting order of race 3. So he'll be starting from the front of the field. He'll get himself some camera time starting up there for sure. Craig Schultz is dealing with a blinking Wiley Blair in front of him as well. So that could become an issue for him on board that 9.5 Sim Sports car. There's plenty of action across the piece. Tim Nicol in behind Angus Lawford at the moment. Sam Muir is amongst this pack. He's back up to P9. are now on the back of Rodney Golan. And there's Kurt Chapman, Jake Burton as well in amongst this battle pack too.
So probably just about the
P6.
next lap will be the last lap. Sam P9, he's probably thinking, can he get to P7? I think that's what his goal would be. Try and get to P7.
That's what he wants to do. Pedersen and Lawrence work together at the front of the field. 1 lap to go. Sam Muir's just had a dropout and he's gone.
No, he's back. He's back.
Is he back? Okay, I hope he is.
Oh,
He is
behind
too.
himself.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh,
That's like
He's
he's
all by
had a.
himself.
Yeah, that's like he's had an incident and then he's blinked when he's had the incident. That's really
Yeah.
awkward for Sam.
but his lap times is 1:16.5. No, actually, no, it's not reading. Yeah, he dropped down to
He's coming to pit lane. He's coming to pit lane because I think he may have the ping flag
Who?
possibly.
Oh, I've still got him out there. He's down in P12 for me.
Oh, it might have been when he dropped out actually that he went to pit lane maybe.
Yeah, something certainly happened. I think he's had an incident there, which is a real shame for him. But I'm not sure why or how, because he did disappear off our screen for a significant amount of time.
So Stefan Lawrence only half a lap away from his first win this season. He has got some incredible pace. He was classified amongst the silver class, but, well, at this stage, you'd have to think he might be locked into a gold class change in round 4 in a couple of weeks' time.
And I want to give a shout out quickly before these guys finish to Kurt Chapman, bronze in P7. Fantastic.
Great effort from Kurt. Down towards the line they come, and Stefan Lawrence takes the win in race 2. Pedersen in P2 on the road. Stanley will come home in P3. Howard in P4. Howard in P5. Jake Burton in P6. Just outlast that little battle pack of Kurt Chapman, the bronze race winner here in race 2. Rodney Golan, Angus Lawford and Alex Schuler make up the top 10. Sam Muir comes home P11 ahead of Tim Nicol, Matty Parker, Craig Schultz, Wiley Blair, Alan Dawson, Daniel Benefield, John Akers, Dean Reddit, and Simon Mazzomo makes up the top 20. But parked up in pit lane, Ellie Gardner will be the pole sitter of race 3 here this evening.
Yeah, a lot to unpack there. Certainly the opening lap drama didn't help Sam Muir in particular. Well, not just in particular, it's Gordon Marshall certainly got he got the bum deal there. Like he was P32 in the end. That's not going to help his championship at all.
No, it's not.
But it's going to be a very, very interesting last race. It's an extended race, obviously.
Yep.
But it's going to be. Let's just keep an eye on Peterson to see how much he can work through. There's a lot to do here, and it's the same with Sam Muir. Sam got caught up in someone else's accident there. And we've got the 524, got a 10-second penalty for an unsafe rejoin.
That's Stefan Lawrence, so he will lose the race win.
Mm-hmm.
So that race win will now go to Ben Pedersen. In fact,
trying to think if I can remember the incident,
he'll
though.
drop off the podium, and he'll drop off the podium completely.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I'm trying to think, what was the incident where he came back on? I don't remember it. From lap 10. I don't remember seeing him go off track.
I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell. I can go fishing and have a look myself. So I don't remember him going off circuit.
Oh, I've lost it, so I can't find it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to confirm as well, because there was a question asked what the different coloured names mean. So white names mean that where the driver is on, where the driver we're focused on and the drivers around them are on the same lap. When their name is in red, they are a lap ahead of whoever we are focused on. When they're in blue, it means they are a lap down based on whoever we're focused on at the time on the timing tower. When the position number is red on the side of the tower, that's the driver we're focusing on. The colouring of the car numbers, so the bronze, silver and gold car colours, represents what subcategory the drivers are in, what driver class they're in. Gold's the best class, they're the fastest drivers. Silver's the second best. Bronze is the, out of the three, the slowest class normally out of those drivers. So they're scored on an overall level. They're not scored within their classes. They're scored from P1 down to P33 in this case. So a good performance from a bronze driver. If they finish high up the field, the rest of the bronzes finish at the back. That's a great effort from them, and what it does is it rewards them for a really good performance because they're not getting points for P1 in class. They're getting points for, say, in John Akers' case in race 1, points for, I think, what was P4. So it's a big benefit to those guys. So warm-up session's just gotten underway. We've got about 5 minutes until race 3 gets us underway here. We're going to take this chance to not check in on Dodsey, but have a quick little ad break. So we'll be back very, very shortly with race 3. Do the washing, Dodsey. We'll be back soon with race 3 of the VRS Porsche Cup Series after this quick short message from our title sponsor, VRS.
These are the VRS Dark Force Pro pedals. So it's a high-end product, stainless steel construction with an industrial aesthetic. Very, very adjustable. All 3 pedals, the pedal faces in terms of height, depth, angle are fully adjustable, and overall pedal angle is also adjustable. Now, if we look at the throttle pedal first, we have quite a unique design here. So we have a rodless spring, which doesn't quite look right to the eye, but functionally performs extremely well. Absolutely no friction whatsoever, so really nice smooth response. And we have a lot of adjustability here in terms of initial starting force, preload, and also overall force and pedal travel. So if we move on to the brake, we have similar levels of adjustability, a very high-end, heavy-duty construction. We have the blue spring on here at the moment, which tolerates a 65 kilogram maximum force. Also supplied is the optional red spring, which doubles that to 130 kilograms. These are linear springs, which is not normally how a real-life brake pedal feels. So we have this very clever mechanism on the back here, which basically turns that into a progressive, more realistic feeling, which gives you quite a decent bit of travel for low-level trail braking, and then more of a ramp up when you're really braking much harder. And we have this tie rod at the top, which is fully adjustable, along with preload, so you can really fine-tune that exact force shape to your preference. On the clutch, we have a similar level of adjustability in terms of pedal face and also the shape of the curve. So we try to emulate a clutch plate, which is stiff initially and then flattens out as the clutch gives way. So that's emulated here with a small amount of adjustability, including overall travel as well. So we're very happy with this product, and we hope you are too.
Welcome back into the VRS Porsche Cup Series. Warm-up session's got about 60 seconds to go before the 30-minute feature gets us underway for the final race of the evening. This car right here of Ellie Gardner will be on pole position for race 3 tonight. A perfect opportunity for Ellie to take advantage and get a good performance out of her car this evening. She's still yet to get a race win in the overall standings. She's done well in her class thus far this season, a bit up and down over the first 2 rounds, but still plenty of time to go for her to make up for lost time as off the road she goes into turn 1 as the it just gets to an end. So, yep, any other questions drivers may have, or viewers may have, sorry, about the broadcast as well, just to quickly answer. Purple lap time number means that's the session best lap time that a driver has done. That's the fastest lap of anyone. Green is a personal best lap, and white means they've either not bettered or they've matched their previous best time in the session as well.
Right. Now, we need to talk about last night. We've talked about a couple of races, and the race has been okay. Driving standards low. But last night, you and I need to talk. We need to get it out in the open.
Yep.
About the things that you were saying last night.
Yes.
About a particular driver in a vet series.
Yes.
And about you have a chance to...
Well, now that I can actually see the penalty sheet, I can also confirm what the penalty was that you received.
Well, I haven't looked yet.
Yesterday,
haven't looked.
You lost 5 race points. It was a minor points penalty.
Yes.
Where I misremembered and I thought it was a major. So, apologise for misremembering. It was only 5 race points though. Because of your bonus points, I don't think you've actually lost the lead of the championship though because of that. So I think you should still lead the title race into round 2 I'll have to check the points when they're up. But starting grid for race 3 will be as follows. It'll be Ellie Gardner on pole position. Our race controllers are put up there to the top because technically they're at the very back of the field. They're live safety car and live race controllers, so they'll always get positioned ahead. But Ellie Gardner will start pole out of the P4 grid slot here tonight. Gordon Marshall, Jack Anderson starting in behind her. Harry Dodds, Alex Mateus inside of the top 5. Shannon Fever, Barry Punter, the top 10 grid positions at least. Greg Levine and Damien Cairns starting in behind them. Then we go back to Paul Wilson, Stacey Boyd starting ahead of Gary Watson and Jordan Ferguson. Simon Mazzomo, Dean Reddit will start ahead of John Akers and Daniel Benefield, with Alan Dawson and Wiley Blair starting a bit further back. Craig Schultz, Matty Parker, they'll share a row further down the order, with Tim Nicol and Sam Muir starting ahead of Alex Schuller, Angus Lawford, Rodney Golan and Kurt Chapman. Jake Burton, Matt Howard will start ahead of Logan Howard and Brady Stanley, with Ben Pedersen and Stefan Lawrence starting at the very back of the field. This is going to be wild. It's the first time we're seeing the full reverse grid for the big race, the 30-minute race. Previously, it's been in the 15-minute event of the second race of the rush round. So now it's the first opportunity we get to see it in the 30-minute race, which made this change to hopefully clean up drivers racing a little bit, force them to be a little bit more patient. Pit stops will be a factor in this one. Revs are building. Pressure's rising as well. Lights are up for the drivers. And race start is about to get underway once again at Homestead Miami. Rush round action, 30 minutes await as we get going off the start line, and the scramble has begun towards turn 1. Cars trying to find any positions they can early as Marshall takes the lead through 1. Better start off the line than Gardner got. Anderson's done well off the line too. P3 for him at the moment. Doddsy ahead. Fever, Mateus, Punter, Wilson, Mazzomo, Boyd inside of the top 10. But it is heating up back there as we can see that Punter's now just tucked ahead there of Alex Mateus, with Paul Wilson on their heels. And then Simon Mazzomo's up amongst this one as well. But this is going to get chaotic soon.
So my focus has been on the Pedersen and Lawrence starting from the rear of the grid. Pedersen has made some decent gains. Probably, well, he's very aggressive here. He's looking... Yeah, look, there's a lot going on there, and I can certainly think that might get called in. That might get called in, but also into turn 1.
Oh, Dean Reddit! Dean Reddit's gone round Jake Burton as well. So early incidents are plenty. Pedersen! Where's he gone? He's down the order, and it's with Alex Schuller.
Yep, so even when Pedersen recovers, there's a more than realistic chance that he's going to get a penalty there. It was just over-aggressive, unnecessary driving. It's a half-hour race. He's trying to lead the race after lap 1. It's going to hurt him bad. He's got some front-end damage as well. Bad mistake. Sam Muir hasn't exactly cashed in either. He's only P18, sorry, P17 at the moment. So neither of them have moved very far forward at all. Stefan Lawrence has been the big gainer so far.
So Barry Punter is traversing through pit lane. This is a very early drive-through if he's got one. I would say the only reason he could get this is he may have jumped the start.
Oh, Pedersen off again. So Pedersen's off again. That's all by
so
himself.
When it rains,
he is in free fall.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours, and it has come crashing down for Ben Pedersen. He's got big damage. He needed to come in and get that thing fixed.
Yeah. So the front left is pointing in a completely different direction, and he is cooked. Like he's going to need. So they're going to need a pit stop anyway. And it's certainly not the end of the race for him, but any possibility, I think, of Pedersen finishing top 10 is disappearing in front of our eyes.
I think it's probably written off at this point. That's my argument, because that there, I mean, we made the full reverse grid, the 30-minute race, for a reason, because you've got a lot more time to be a lot more patient. And that wasn't necessarily impatience. He caught the grass under brakes and could not get the car pulled up into turn 8. But
still doesn't need to be that aggressive anyway.
Yeah, there's no need to be that aggressive that early in this race. You've got 30 minutes to make up positions. Let your pace get to you. He could have easily done it, as that there was Jack Anderson going around at turn 3. And now the 58 car has to wait for pretty much the whole field to come past him, the former race controller. It's good to see he knows the holding brakes rule, Brenton. So, I'd be worried if he didn't.
I'm already questioning why Pedersen hasn't pitted and get this thing fixed. He's gone around again. he's struggling. There's no doubt. He's really struggling. Can't even give you a lap time as to how bad that lap was. Just, obviously so many incidents. But, there's more things going on. And the lesson here is that Pedersen was in front of his teammate at turn 1. Now, Stefan has gone up 21 positions. That could have been you, Ben. Just a bit of patience. So Stefan is really cashing in here. He's only 2 cars behind Sam Muir. Sam hasn't gone that hard forward either. Stefan Lawrence up 22 positions. Sam's up to P12. Up the front, though, Marshall, Gardner, Dodds and Mazzoma and Benefield are not pulling away as much as what I would have thought from each other. All in the 16s. Ellie Gardner a 16.2, 16.5s and a 16.3 there. Outside that, Wilson into the 17.2. So the top 5 are drawing away.
That is the fastest lap of the race from Ellie Gardner. That's 16.2.
Yep.
There's a fantastic lap from her across the piece. Mateus here is hanging on for survival. Well, look at that. Wiley Blair's gone off the road, and he's somehow only lost 1 spot out of all that. The only driver that got past him is the defending champion, Sam Muir. So the debutant is trying to hang on for dear life at the front of the field. And to be fair, if he can keep it clean, he could pull off a top 15 finish, maybe even a top 20 here tonight, just in this 30-minute race. But pit stops may be the test if he hasn't realised he's going to need to pit at some point as well. But time will tell.
If there's a safety, I don't think there's CPS. I don't think there's a compulsory pit stop.
No.
If there's a safety car, they can probably make it. And that's the only thing I'm thinking of now is that Pedersen's probably hanging on because he just can't steer that. Anything that he's turned to the right, his car's, it's as big as the Bismarck. It's just not turning. And he's down in P30, but his last lap time was a 1:32.5, so he's 16 seconds off the pace. He should have pitted. He should get this thing fixed because by the time, if there's no safety cars, he's going to go a lap down very quickly anyway. Championship implications are huge. In the meantime, Damien Cairns. Good to see Damien getting in there. So Damien's up to P6 now, just past Paul Wilson. So it's great to see that hopefully Damien can have a clean race. He's been too many mistakes as far as I'm concerned. But hopefully this is one of those races where he can get stuck in amongst it.
Well, the one thing we can probably lock in right now, if Stefan Lawrence finishes where he is, if Stefan Lawrence finishes where he is, he'd very likely win the round tonight for the silver class. I mean, he's had 2 very solid performances in the first 2 races, up 25 positions, but been playing a very, very patient game across these first 5 laps. He hasn't tried to push it too hard, which has been good to see. It's kind of the polar opposite to his teammate, unfortunately, for Ben Pedersen. So this is what can happen when you do it right.
Look at that gaggle of cars behind him. Look at that gaggle of cars.
Yeah.
He's passed it some way. He has passed every single one of them. Sure, some of them got caught up in their own dramas, but he's already worked his way up to P11. He's only the 1 car now behind the defending champion, Sam Muir. So significant gains by Lawrence. And you're right, if, and it isn't if, he stays there, it would be a round win. Pretty confident of that.
Rain Campbell,
23 minutes.
Rain Campbell in chat, is there a minimum lap for fuel he's trying to get to? No, there shouldn't be. Yeah, he'd already be there by this point.
Yeah.
Because it's such a... Oh, it's Alex Mateos in a wild moment at turn 1. Yeah. Off the road. And that there... Oh, Jordan Ferguson as well, taking a sympathy run off the grass too. Dean Reddit as well had an off-track.
Alex is okay.
Yeah, driving past. You good? Yeah, you're good. Very good. Very good.
Give a thumbs up.
And now Ando's back there as well.
Oh, this is going to... Yeah, this is pretty.
That's going to get hairy between those two, I'm sure. They'll have a bit of a play together now. They're further back in the field. No, it wouldn't be a critical lap because the margin is so short for the fuel you need. It's literally a splash and you get home. We've seen drivers get to within 3 laps to go and they've come in, they've fueled up and they've gotten to the end of the race. As Gordon Marshall has just lost the lead, Kelly Gardner and Harry Dodds is at an off track.
Yep, and that's, well, yeah, he's gone down to P3.
Yeah, contact with Gardner.
No, you don't want that.
So we need to try and find...
This should be a form of shortcut.
So let's watch this again. So Marshall's trying to... Well, Gardner doesn't even know he's there. He's nowhere near far enough up at turn-in. So I think Ellie's gotten away with that because that's not her fault. That's on Gordon for a very late move on the inside.
Yeah. And as predicted, Pedersen is getting the black flag, or has got a black flag, a drive-through.
Yep, and I think he's actually gone at the moment, and that's it.
there's going to
Oh,
be
he's been
some
disqualified.
frustration.
Pedersen's been disqualified.
Yeah, right. So didn't serve the black flag in time. I would think he's disqualification, 0 points.
0
And
points.
possible
And
penalties.
well,
Post-race penalties as well.
it'll be a drop round, but he won't drop his penalties. That's the problem. So he can't get points. He can't get time penalties now if he does receive them. He can only receive points penalties post race. So
Interesting to see what the thought process was there. I think Rain tried to touch on before whether he was trying to get to a certain lap to get to fuel.
Matty Parker has just gone round.
I reckon, has he done that by himself? And there's Alex just making a gain here.
He's trying to get back past
Done
us.
that by himself, we have a bit of help.
Let's see here. This is down towards turn 8 under brakes. It was a very late
Done by
dive on the
himself.
inside of the 9.5 car.
Yeah, done it by himself.
A bit too much speed into the corner there from Parker.
Yep. So the race, despite that last move by Parker, has actually settled down a little bit. Harry Dodds now leads. Last lap of a 17.4, Ellie Gardner 17.8. So that's off pace. That's off pace, and we've got Benefield who's now gone up into P3 with a 16.9. 16th is where you want to be, and it's great to see Harry in the lead, but the pressure will be coming. The pressure will be coming, and as quick as Benefield went up to 3rd, he's now down to 5th. There's obviously been an incident there.
Yeah, he's just lost it out to his teammate Mazzomo and Gordon Marshall. I was trying to go on the search there to find what possibly could have happened to Ben Pedersen as to why he was disqualified.
So I would say he hasn't served a black flag. I'd say that's what it is. I don't think he served a black flag within the allocated 5 laps, 3 laps.
3 laps. Which he's
3 laps,
he's made that mistake before. He was in the race lead one day at Road Atlanta, didn't serve the black flag, got disqualified. He was very confused. So that's how Benefield went off track. Got a little dooring from Gordon Marshall and then tucked back in behind his teammate. That was down through turn 7.
So the two 9.5 guys aren't working that great together, not going to lie. And they're going to be, Gordon's really, Gordon's been in drama again.
He has. It's now allowed Cairns past him. Could allow Rodney Golan to come through as well.
But also what's happening here is that Muir and Lawrence are making gains on this pack. We've still got 19 minutes to go. The expectation is that Muir and, this is just getting a little bit rabbly. The expectation is that both Muir and Lawrence will probably clear this lot and work their way up into a top 5.
Now, I wonder if we're going to see, once Muir and Lawrence catch the back of this pack, or which they are, they're amongst the pack now, actually.
Yeah, they're already there.
If they start to get held up, as Matt Howard just went off the road there, but Lawrence is hot on it.
Good move by Lawrence.
It is indeed.
Really good move.
That's a great move.
Yeah, that's a quality move. Lawrence Muir was so busy looking forward and attacking, had to get out of it, then started to defend, and before he even had the chance to do that, Lawrence was already through. But look at the draft that Muir's got, and he's got good track position here as well. He's going to hold the tight down line to be able to hold that.
Lawrence's teammates have made a mistake. They gave the little bit of toe to Sam Muir, and that's and he's giving him a door down the straight. It's like, get out of the way.
He's hooked him. He's absolutely. Lawrence probably won't be sitting on the fence and just going to be taken out. I reckon there's going to be a little bit of payback for that. A little piece of me hopes there should be, because Lawrence doesn't need to be, or doesn't want to be getting pushed around there. He might be wearing the car 1, but that's a reflection of last season, not this season.
No, that's right. But the big change will be, though, when we exit round 2, Sam Muir will be the championship leader. Because right now, drop rounds are not getting classified until round 4. So,
well,
Ben
there's the
Pedersen,
penalty points as well.
Yeah, penalty points too.
Yeah, you'd have to think there'll be, look, for a DQ, I think there should be significant penalty points for a disqualification. I understand people have driving incidents and you get license points. I get all that, but a disqualification should come with a heavy penalty.
It should. I'm just going to confirm with race control how Pedersen got disqualified.
Yeah, it's got to be a black flag. It has to be a black flag. I reckon he's trying to hit a number, trying to get to that number, and so otherwise there was absolutely no point in him hanging around doing 1 minute 32 laps. Is 1 minute 24 laps. He's 16 seconds a lap off pace. Yeah, just pit the thing, get it fixed, get back out there. But he's ignored. I think he's ignored the black flag, and he's gone from there. And that's deep by Lawrence on his own teammate.
Yeah, as we can see, Lawrence is starting to put pressure
Oh,
here
and
on
he's
John
up to the door
Akers.
there.
Here comes Muir. Oh, there's a bit of door-to-door between them.
Yep.
Yep.
There's not a lot of love being lost here.
There's not. And the problem with Muir is he's a wounded gazelle in a lion pit at the moment because he's surrounded by riot cars. And they're all going to gang up on him if he's not careful.
Yep. And that's what we're talking about in the second race is that the riot cars, they've got the numbers, haven't they? And they can start throwing their weight around. And Sam's got some help with 9.5, but at the moment, none of that help's around him at all. The help's actually just up the road. They're not going to come back for him. It's not, as much as we're trying to work together as a team, they're not going to come back for him. So Sam's going to do this all by himself.
Yep, and that there is the biggest test for Sam Muir at the moment. He's now got Paul Wilson just ahead of him as one of those silver-classed Riot Sim Racing cars. As Daniel Benefield just enters towards turn 1. He's tucked behind his teammate Simon Mazzomo. Ellie Gardner holding position here in P2 behind Harry Dodds.
Yeah.
Oh, could you imagine the scenes if Doddsy were to win the race, but Geelong couldn't win the grand final on Saturday? He would be livid, Brenton.
Oh, that's taken you a lot longer than I thought it would. A lot longer.
I had to point it out because I had to wait for Doddsy to get up the front because he's a Geelong fan, so I had to chirp him a little bit. But no, I mean he's doing very well at the moment up at the front of the field, and this is the kind of probably experience he needs in this car is racing up the front, not being in the pack, because that probably doesn't help him learn because he could get caught up in other drivers' incidents, get caught up in his own, where running at the front is good experience for him to get suited to the car and racing conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some guys who are good leaders of a race. Obviously, Harry looks like he's doing a pretty good job here. But looking at their lap times, they're not setting the world on fire, these two. Both got a pair of 71s last lap as they go across the strike here. Yeah, 71s is 0.6 of a second slower than Mazzomo in third.
Oh, here
and
comes
another
Gardner.
17.1. Yeah, so another 17 flat for Dodds, 16.8 for Gardner. But you look behind them. Now, we're talking about before with the 9.5 cars need to work better together. And right now, you would say they are working together. How's this for your lap times? Simon Mazzomo, a 16.494. His teammate, Daniel Benefield, a 16.494. They're working together. They're making gains. 6 tenths of a second gain last lap. They're already there. These guys, if they work close enough together, they've got a chance to use some good racecraft and actually get through both of these cars at the same time. It's interesting to see how they work. We've still got 13.5 minutes to go, including the probability of a pit stop.
Oh, Gardner's just locked
Gardner
it up.
Locking up. Yep, locking up.
Gardner's still battling here with Benefield. She's just on his outside, actually. So they're still side by side. Mez managed to get through, but Benefield will try and find a solution here to get this job done.
And you'll see the solution in front of him. It's his teammate's going to hang the low line. He'll hang the low line. He's going to get a draft, and he will go straight past Gardner here. There won't be a problem at all.
I think Doddsy there was trying to give Gardner a bit of tow because he didn't want to have those two 9.5 cars hot on his heels because he knows that they're both going to try and work together to get past him. That's
exactly right. So my money here is on one or both of the 9.5 cars because Doddsy's up against it now because, as we're saying, so behind them, there's a lot of experience with these two guys. The Benefield's been driving sim racing since 1644. So he's been doing it for an awful long time. Mez, not quite as long, but has done a lot of races. So these two will work well together. They know exactly what they need to do. So just the pressure's on Dodds. Now, don't need to pit. We've talked about this so many times. We said we're not taking tyres, we're not worrying about undercuts. Let's just drain the fuel out of these things unless you believe you're being held up. Now, is Mazzomo and Benefield being held up? Yeah, they probably are. But if they come into the pit now, they need to consider where they're going to come out. And at the moment, looking at my screen, they'll come out in heavy traffic.
So we've had confirmation from Ed Pedersen in the chat, which we did note before when we were watching the replay of his incident. So it wasn't aggression down at turn 8. He actually had some steering damage from the corner before where he'd made contact with his teammate, and so he just couldn't get the car pulled up. He's then asked, did he have a meatball as well as a black flag? Because his plan was to run the fuel out so when he did pit, he could fuel to the end. So I would say he probably had a meatball and didn't realise he had it because he may have had a black flag at the time, and then that's what's actually DQ'd him, because when you get the meatball, you've got 3 flags, and you've got 3 laps to come in and serve the meatball. So
yeah, but you're doing 1 minute 32s, Ben. So you're in free fall anyway, and there's a move here for the lead. So doing 1 minute 32s, you're 16 seconds off the pace. It makes no tactical sense to maintain being on the track, get the car fixed, get back out there. Because if a safety car comes out, you're back in it with a clean car. So what I would do is, when you're that far off pace, just get it fixed.
Well, I would say that Ben will be ready to lock in for next week at Chicago Street Course.
100%.
If tonight
He's a
is
quality
his,
driver.
to be fair, if tonight's his drop round with a race win and a P2 in 2 of the 3 races, I mean, that's a pretty good drop round to have, Brenton. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah, he's got points in his pocket already. The penalty points, it's the type of thing where as the season goes on, might hurt, but he's a quality driver. He dominated round 1. He was extremely good race 1 and race 2 here. Probably did the team thing with Stefan. Geez, that's a good defence by Dodds. I'm going to change the subject really quickly here. That's a really solid defence by Harry then.
he's done well.
Certainly, Mez, really just clean. Showed his intention nice and early, as did Mez and Benefield behind. That was really clean racing. That was really good racing.
We've got some pit
But you
stoppers
look at the lap
as well
times.
at the moment. Cairns, Lawford, Howard, Burton, Punter are now all into pit lane. So I'd expect in the next 5 minutes we're going to start to see majority of the field traverse through pit road to set up for the next part of this race. Now, I wonder, has Benefield been saving fuel behind his teammate Simon Mazzomo, and has he been saving enough where he could go to the end of this race without needing a pit stop and getting some solid points on the board? Because right now Benefield could actually challenge for the lead of the championship as well. It's going to be very close between Muir, Benefield and Ben Pedersen.
I don't think the times for Benefield are reflecting that of a fuel save. Like he's got the fastest lap of the race, 15.956. It's not reflecting someone who's fuel saving. What it's doing is, again, these guys are slow. A 17.3 for Dodds, 17.4 and for Mazzomo and for Benefield. You look behind, that's a good move there. Yep, so the race lead changed. Both the 9.5 guys have gone through, and Ellie Gardner's having a look as well. This is where the 9.5 guys can see what they've got to stretch with. If they're going to be putting in some good laps, start grinding now. Give us 3 good laps if you've got that much fuel. Give us a couple of good laps. Build yourself up a gap. And what we've also got is Gardner and Dodds now battling behind. So the 2 9.5 guys, again, I think we said it in the last race, looking in the mirror thinking, how good is this? You guys keep battling on for that final podium position.
Wilson and Mateus into pit lane now as well. So we can see that obviously Mez and Benefield have done well to get those cars back up the front. Dodds, Gardner battling for the final podium position. Golan up into P5 at the moment, into P2 in the silver class as Benefield
going for a race win.
Yeah, I think what they're going to do is they're going to keep swapping. Yeah, they're going to keep swapping every lap to try and build gap and to go as long as possible. So they may not come in until the very end of the fuel load, just to try and build as much gap as possible to the pack behind them. And I think Dodds and Gardner, if they're smart, they'll stick with them.
They're inviting Dodds in here.
Yeah,
this is the type of tactics. They're trying to play a bit cute here. They're inviting Dodds in. So Harry can save fuel as much as the other guys, as can Gardner. And now, if anything, Mez has dropped off. He's almost a second behind already from Benefield, because Mez has had to go into defense because Dodds is still right there. So again, look at the lap time last time. A 17.9 for Mazzomo, an 18.2 for Harry Dodds. Sam Muir, a 16.3. That's a significant difference. Sam's only now the 6 seconds off the lead and coming very quickly. But now that Benefield's in some clear air, you would think that Dan's going to get the job done here. But he's got some slight damage to the car, certainly not a lot. But these guys need to put their heads down. Like I said, only a couple of times, a couple of those guys said, put your heads down, go hard, and show us what you got. They haven't showed us anything yet.
No, they haven't. Not at this stage of the race. So at the moment, Benefield looks to come into pit lane. Mazzomo's going to go with him. Gardner has kept going, so she has saved fuel to go another lap. That might be a tough
push
call,
hard
though.
here.
You have to push hard, but
Push
now
hard.
she's without any slipstream, so she's
that's
gonna
fine.
have to pull out a qualifying lap on her own.
Yeah, push hard, light tank. The other cars are going to come out on heavier tanks, might even come out in some traffic. If Gardner is to win this race, this needs to be the best in lap that ever done. Quick stop there, Mez 6.3 stationary. What have we got? Mizomo 6.6. Harry Dodds will be probably the same, 6.4. So that seems to be the bucket list, doesn't it? Sam Muir's obviously burnt a bit more petrol at a 7.4, and Rodney Gollan, who's done a fantastic race. Rodney Gollan's gone up 23 positions, if you don't mind. Sorry, 22 now. Just got past in pit lane. But 8 seconds for Rodney, so he's a bit off pace. And also, we were looking for... Where did they go? I've lost... Stefan Lawrence. There we are, P9. So all the cars bar Ellie have done their pit stop now.
We must be in sync, because I was legitimately going to click on Stefan Lawrence and say, is it Lawrence you're looking for? But we have found him indeed. It's P9 for Stefan at the moment. Angus Lawford just in behind him. Sam Muir just up the road as well. So we await Ellie Gardner to come through pit lane. We would expect Gary Watson to have to pit again tonight, because he pitted out on lap 3 as Gardner's down pit road now. So we'll see where she ends up, if going one lap longer has cost her anything, or if it could gain her a position over Harry Dodds. The race leaders are coming down towards the oval now. So into turn 9 goes Benefield. He's got 1.5 seconds over his teammate Mizomo. And then Dodds is a further 1.3 seconds back. This is going to be close at turn 1 between Dodds and Gardner.
Yeah, so cars are in the lane for about 31 seconds, and Gardner's just about to come out now. 6.3 was the stop, no, 8 seconds, sorry. Benefield did a 6.3 stop, so certainly saved a bit of fuel, and that's certainly going to be very helpful now, like 1.5 seconds over the teammate Mizomo. Dodds up to third. Gardner wasn't the best in lap, has to be said, but also a slower pit stop, 8 seconds on the stop, so lost 1.2 seconds just there to Dodds as a stationary. Damien Cairns, yay for Damien. About time we saw you do what you should be doing, Damien. I think he just went off then.
No, that was Alex Shaw that I just saw.
Was Alex, so P5 at the moment for Damien. Really, really stoked for that result, and hopefully Damien can hang in there, because the guy can drive. I've driven against him in Vet Series. He can drive. Maybe just not doing as many laps in the Porsche as what he would probably be able to.
But I think there is definitely signs that improvement could be coming for Cairns. So I think earlier in the night he had a bit of a difficult go. He got caught up in an incident that wasn't his fault. He had nowhere to go in that scenario. From my money, the first 2 rounds, he has probably been one of the biggest improvers in terms of what he needed to improve upon, and that was consistency. He has gotten a lot better since last season in these first 2 rounds, and battling away with Marshall is a good test for that consistency. We're probably only going to get a fair portion size of it by about round 5. That's when we'll be able to determine if any improvements have been made. Chicago's an X factor in that next week. Anyone could have no consistency at Chicago. It's one of the more difficult street circuits on the service. So we may just put a line through that one. But the other 2 circuits that are coming up for the next part of this season, of course, Road America and then Montreal. Damien should have plenty of laps around those circuits. They're used in the supercars on iRacing. And there'll be a good test to see how how those screws have been tightened up for him.
Yeah, things are looking a bit shaky there in broadcast world. Stefan Lawrence up 27 positions is a fantastic performance too. But the 295 cars do look quite comfortable now, don't they? Like, you know, isn't it funny in this day and age that a car can have a 6/10 of a second lead, but you actually feel comfortable? You don't feel like you're under any threat at all. I know here there's certainly a significant draft that is available. And if you're Daniel Benefield right now, you're 2 seconds ahead of your teammate. Do you just drop back that little bit, drop back to about the 1.2 seconds, 1 to 1.2 seconds to make sure that your teammate continue to get the drag? Or alternatively, the deliberately not do it? Because these guys are fighting for a championship too. Maybe he doesn't want to give the points away. It would look like Gardner was going off in the background.
Yeah, so did Dodds. I think they've made contact through turn 1.
Oh, yeah.
So they were battling tightly across this first portion of the race. And it have to be said, this is disappointing if both of them have gone off. So what's happened? Oh, so Gardner just went off track straight ahead. Wasn't able to run on the outside. Well, we're about to find out. I think Doddsy's was a minor off track. through there.
Yeah.
So Gardner exits stage right. And then as Dodds comes through, he just locks it up and is carrying a bit too much speed. So I think both of them just overcooked it, wanting to out-ego the other into turn 2. So that's cost Ellie. It hasn't cost Doddsy the podium, but it's cost Ellie significantly.
So if we look behind them, the championship leader now, Sam Muir, hasn't had the best of nights. Is actually going to walk away with significant gains here. We're down to it'll be the last lap, but 1 coming up. Sam's got himself to P7. There's a couple of spots. We saw Damien before. He didn't look like he was in the mood to defend overly hard. He pretty much gave that spot away. I reckon if Sam at any stage can stick his nose in with this last lap, we're 1 lap to go. If Sam can stick his nose in, I reckon Damien's going to put the white flag up pretty quick. He's going to go full French here if he got someone next to him.
He may do, especially if it's someone that he's technically not in a class championship battle for either. But Golan in behind he wants to try and hold back Sam because he wants to limit the amount of points that Sam can gain tonight over Ben Pedersen. And not just over Ben Pedersen, but over his other teammate, Alan Dawson, as well, who's in P12.
So Rodney Golan can do his other right teammates a big favour, like Lawrence and Pedersen, can do his big favour, a big favour by keeping Muir behind him. And at the moment, he's doing a cracking job.
Well, Muir wants a move. He wants it down at turn 8, but he can't quite get there. This is the final.
Hasn't been strong under brakes here all night.
He hasn't. This has been the final lap of the race, though. White flag is out. Time will tick to the half-an-hour mark. And Daniel Benefield looks to come round the final 2 corners for the final time at Homestead Miami before we head to Chicago next week. And it is a 1-2 finish in the feature race for 9.5 Sim Sporters. Daniel Benefield takes the win to Simon Mazzomo, and Harry Dodds will get an all-time podium in P3. Gordon Marshall in P4. Damien Cairns wins it for the silver class ahead of Rodney Golan. Sam Muir will take the championship lead, finishing in P7 ahead of Ellie Gardner. Stefan Lawrence inside of the top 10. Angus Lawford in behind them. And further back down the road with another feature race win for the bronze class, it is Dean Reddit for Riot Sim Racing.
Yeah, a good night for Dean for sure, bringing that home just in front of John Akers in the bronze section. But yeah, good effort by 9.5. Good effort. 2 very experienced drivers. We talked about that before, and they really just did the job they had to do. Nothing more, nothing less. Just consistent and put their car in the right position at the right time. Quick pit stop for both of them. They were the quickest pit stops out of the field, in fact. So obviously that goes a long way, a bit of fuel saving for the first stint. So congratulations to Dan Benefield and to Simon Mazzomo, but also to Harry Dodds. Harry, we're going to give you an extra night off from doing the washing. You can do the washing tomorrow night now.
Yeah, now he can go fold it up. As Damien Cairns was hungry, he's hungry to get in here and have a chat to us. So we'll get some B-roll happening as we get prepped to chat to our silver class race winner from the feature race here this evening. Originally, I wanted it to be the round winners, but the easier mathematics is whoever won their class in the feature. So we'll have a quick chat to Damien, who had a fantastic night on the road. Let me just quickly get this up here. Very good. So let's drag him in and have a quick chat to him. Damien Cairns, congratulations. Race win for the silver class. P5 on the road, I believe, in the end there. So a top 5 finish as well. Damien, you've really tightened up the screws on that consistency that myself and Brenton mentioned last season. You are getting better and better in these first 2 races of the season. Is it helped feeding the confidence now in this car?
Oh, 100%. I really needed to work on consistency and just keeping it on the road. And yeah, that's what I've been doing, picking my battles, picking who I'm going to let pass, who I'm going to fight with. And then, yeah, it seems to be working out at the moment. So I'm not going to really change anything. Just keep going and hopefully, yeah, get some good results.
Well, Damien,
it was a good effort, Damien, for sure. Sorry, I'm going to cut in there because I got a lot of time for this. I got a lot of time for Damien. He's a quality driver. Just didn't show his best last year, but the racecraft that you've shown so far this season, mate, it's a big improvement. So well done to you. Where do you see the rest of the season going? Where's your constant improvement going to be for the rest of the season?
I need to work on my starts to start with. killing me at the minute. Yeah, it's just I just want to just try and get us consistent and finish every race and just like keep the car as fast as I can, but just keep it on the road. And yeah, I mean, if you have consistent races come the end of the year, you're a lot better in the championship than trying to fight for a win every race.
Now, Damien, how did you find this this track car combination, specifically this layout of the course as well? I know the road course A is the predominantly used road course here at Homestead. Road course B, we had the comment from Ben Pedersen saying what a great track for battles. Did you find it was that case for you as well on board your car tonight, or did you find it was a bit of a struggle out there?
I was not really looking forward to tonight because when I did the laps earlier in the week and stuff, and I'm thinking, oh my god, this is going to be a nightmare. But yeah, there's always a battle. There's plenty of drafting, and then you've got to try and you come into some pretty high speed corners off turn one when you're side by side, and then you got to get it stopped before you get to the next one. It's yeah, it's a hairy track. It doesn't take much to put it offline. You got to be really consistent and hit every mark. Well,
if it's a hairy track, I dare think how hairy Chicago is going to be next week. That's going to be a real test for everyone in the field. But congratulations on your performance tonight, Damien. Solid points on the board. Race win in the silver class as well, and a top 5 finish to boot too. Let us know who helps get you out on track. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well? For myself and Brenton and the rest of us here in the IRWC, congrats on the success here at Homestead Miami.
Yeah, congrats to I'd like to thank all you guys behind the scene, the ones that put the all the league together. Yeah, and just everyone at XOSR, and my beautiful wife will be watching. Would have been watching the race tonight, so I'll get a shout out to her while she's been watching.
Very good, mate. Best of luck next week, surviving Chicago street course, and best of luck Thursday night in the Vets for Bathurst as well. 2 tough tracks, 2 of which that everyone's going to be put to the sword on. So hopefully you're able to survive the battles on track.
No worries, I'm going to need it.
No worries, thanks, Damien. Damien Cairns, our silver class winner here this evening. Next up, 2 weeks in a row, and it is a bronze class win for Dean Reddit of Riot Sim Racing here this evening. Dean, congratulations, 2 weeks in a row, 2 bronze class feature race wins. It's got to feel pretty good at the moment. And you're looking pretty hot for a solid position in the championship leading in towards round 3 next week in Chicago.
Thanks, Hamish. Just happy to come out with that one with something. It didn't feel that great, but yeah, pretty surprised in the end to take the bronze class in the last race. Well, yeah, the feature race win anyway. So otherwise, it was a pretty messy night for myself.
Well, I think it was a messy night for a lot of drivers out there. There was quite a few incidents happening, but that obviously comes with the territory. An unfortunate night, though, for your team in terms of Ben Pedersen's championship prospects. Copped a black flag and a meatball and then didn't serve it and got disqualified. So that's going to hurt him a little bit. Luckily, though, he has got 2 drop rounds this season, so he would have only used 1 to this stage. But a little bit more pressure now put on the team. I mean, with Stefan winning tonight, I think there's probably 1 finger currently on the transfer button to gold class for him. But you guys are looking strong out there, and we noticed that Sam Muir was surrounded by riot cars, and we may mention that if he wasn't careful, he's probably going to get bullied by all of them. So you guys have definitely got the numbers, but maybe a night to forget for some of the drivers out there amongst your team.
Yeah, I think most of us had incidents at some stage in across the 3 races. So not a overall tidy night, but a couple of I guess flashes, highlights, Stefan winning the second race, and here and there's an occasional good thing, but I think no one really put together a great round across all 3 races.
Well, I think you have shown in the first 2 rounds that you are a heavy contender for the bronze classification championship come the end of the season. I think at this stage, I mean, across the first 2 races, we can maybe make an argument for silver class, but we'll see how Chicago goes for you. You're still on the precipice and still in between, but changes could be made or decisions could be made. We'll have to wait and see. But Dean, let us know anyone you want to give a shout out to for myself, Brenton, and the rest of the crew here. congratulations on your race win in the bronze class in the feature race, and congratulations on the success for the team, at least across the 3 races tonight, in any which way they got it here at Homestead Miami.
Yeah, thanks, Hamish. Yeah, obviously just big thanks to you guys on the broadcast team putting it up. Brenton, Hamish, Jack behind the scenes, and also race control. I think he needs a trauma session or a therapy session after that one tonight. Just, obviously from our point of view, big thanks to the Riot boys for showing up on a otherwise frustrating night, and to our sponsors, V8 Drive Day Perth, Grange Automotive in Perth, Sim Racing in Focus Podcast, Print Racer 3D Printing, and quick shout out to iLiveries for our paints and Card FX design for our team shirts. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
No worries at all, Dean. Best of luck next week in Chicago. We'll see how you go trying to survive the concrete jungle, and congrats on the success thus far in the first 2 rounds.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. We've had Mr. Anderson join the booth with us, Brenton. He's deafened himself, so I assume he's waiting till the end of the broadcast. But a tough night on the road for some, Brenton. But I think Homestead probably proved that there was still some really good racing out there. And I'm looking forward to whenever we next come here. Now, whether that's as a rush round again, I think it actually suited the rush round nicely because it's a little bit wide. There are some tight spots, but I think it did suit it. I dare say we're probably never going to run a 60-minute race here, but I'd be interested to see what a sprint round format would run here as well.
It's an inviting track that you can make passing moves, but you've got to be precise and you've got to be committed. There's a few times, I think, tonight where there wasn't that level of commitment, but I can understand that as well. Because a lot of these guys are still racing against each other for the first time, and that kind of showed as well. But race 2 of a championship, you can lose the championship in race 2. You can't win it in race 2. Ben's going to be on edge now. You get a couple of drop races. We know that. But, this could have significant championship implications. Not sure what a DQ is going to do for him with penalty points, but I can't see it being pretty.
No, I can't either. But the best way that everyone else can find out how it goes is by tuning in next week when we go racing out at Chicago for round 3. It is going to be an incredible next 9 or 8 weeks to come for the Porsche Cup Series, next 9 rounds to come as well. As I said, next week we're heading out to the one and only Chicago Street Course, one that puts fear into the hearts of drivers every time it comes up on the calendar. It's the first time we get to run it in these cars in the IRWC, and it's going to be one hell of a test for them. You guys don't want to miss it. So be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing here on the channel. Next up on the docket, Friday night in the IRWC Rod Knock Cup, you will get a preview of the Chicago Street Course as we take the next-gen NASCARs there this coming Friday before we bring the Porsches the Monday after. As well this weekend, 8:30 p.m. Australian Standard Time, Saturday evening, bringing you the next round of the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans Split 2 action for Season 25, Round 2 out at Bathurst. But I've been Hamish Munro Brenton O'Brien alongside. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you for being here with us once again. Massive thank you to our series sponsors, including the title sponsors VRS, as well as Infinity Broadcasting, SPP Graphics, and Blackheart Designs as well. Thank you all so much for joining us. This has been the VRS Porsche Cup Series here on Infinity Broadcasting. We'll see you guys next week in Chicago. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
Control, feel the thunder in my soul, through the danger, through the pain, only one thing to do to get to victory lane, taking risks, full send, and in the end, be the best, it's taking over, cannot contain, the desire to get to victory lane. The past, the roaring ghosts that never last, but here I stand, the finish line, one last race, one last time, through it all, get past the pain, cutting laps, making gains, feeling tired, get to my aim, the desire to get to victory lane. Speeding faster, no control. Feel the thunder in my soul. Through the danger, through the pain. Only one thing to do to